We shall get started shortly. I'm just going to turn on some music so that we give time to people, for people to come in. Okay. Okay. Come on. All right. Come on. All right. I guess you'll move on. All right. Okay. All right. Shalom to everybody coming into the chat. Shalom, KD.
Shalom, Lisa. How you doing?
All right. It's cold as hell here. We didn't have, we got a dusting of snow, but the winds were treacherous. Oh, man. The winds were horrible yesterday.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, we definitely had our share of mixture of rain and snow too. It was
Yeah.
hecka icy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So all of you that are in warmer parts of the country, don't brag, okay? Don't brag, y'all. Don't brag. Oh boy, we got a lot to cover. It is because so many things have been going on. It is almost like we can't even keep up with everything that's going on with these Gentiles. It has been ridiculous.
Yeah, but as they say, Lisa, the hits keep on coming, and unfortunately, it's gonna be the end once the hits stop playing.
I'm in New Jersey. So, we don't get spared any snow. We get hit with the snow. It's cold down in Georgia. Yeah, this polar vortex thing is spanning over the entire East Coast. So, yeah, you would feel it down in Georgia. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get started. It is unbelievable. But let's see here. Share my screen. Start out with that. All right, y'all. Now, I did a couple of videos on how they have literally priced out the Black community in the marijuana business. Now, of course, I had some trolls write me talking about what I'm saying is not true. Yes, it is. And the stories are out everywhere, over in the, Canada and here is the same thing. Black people are saying they were completely priced out of the business. Okay, so no matter where we are priced out of the business. But I want you to see what's happening with the cannabis business in some states. Let's see here. All right. In Michigan, there is a shortage, a massive shortage of cannabis. And there is a shortage of weed in the dispensaries in Chicago and all around Illinois, y'all. Mm-mm-mm. You know, it seems like every time they try to screw us over, guess what happens to them? So there right now is a shortage of weed for these businesses that they priced the Black community out of in Illinois and also in Michigan. You can go ahead and jump in, Katie, anytime you want.
Well, the thing that's surprising to me is that they want us locked up for smoking it and selling
Right,
it, but they don't want us selling it legally.
right. They have usurped all of those businesses, y'all. There ain't damn near none of us in the business. And they put all kinds of requirements that they know the average Black person cannot even meet. Like you have to have a nursery business. Now, you know damn well we don't have nursery businesses. We can't even get business loans. Okay. No, Christopher Clipper, you know what most Black people are saying? They're going to stick with their local weed dealer that they've been buying from all this time. They don't care about buying from these businesses. But as you can see, you know, they're so busy trying to screw us. Look at what's happening to them. Now they have shortages in some states. Crazy, right?
Yeah, and I think the dirty little secret is I think they want to keep that prison industrial complex profitable. I think that's also the real reason why they're doing this. Because if they really let us out and sell the weed to our own folks, that's a big blow to their profit margin.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, see, they already promised the corporations they would keep the prisons at a certain capacity so that, you know, that labor will always be done. And of course, they want to jail the same people that were in chattel slavery. They don't want to really use anyone else. You know, when it comes down to weed, they still want to grab us all up, like Katie said. But when it comes to opioids, oh, well, you know, it's public health. They need help. They don't need prison. I mean, the double standards are just unbelievable in this country.
And the funny thing about that is, Lisa, they actually created this double standard, but by these two articles, it's blowing back in their face.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It sure is. It
It's
sure.
the same. It's the same thing they did with gentrification. You know, pricing us out of the hood, pricing us out of all these neighborhoods, but yet half of the gentrified neighborhoods are damn near empty.
Right. They sure are. They sure are. Okay. Now, the supreme leader over in Iran has come out and called Trump a clown, which we already knew he was a clown here in the United States. You know, we already knew the man was a clown, but he has come out and called Trump out on the carpet, said he's nothing but a clown. Mm-mm-mm. And of course, Trump did what Trump does the best, go out on Twitter to attack this man. You know, that is just so tacky, but this is what he did. So he recently gave a 1 hour speech and gave a statement over there in Iran, and he dismissed Donald Trump as a clown and in a warning to Iranians who have placed their trust in him. So I guess he was referring to the Iranians that live here in the United States. So, you know, this whole thing with Iran, y'all, is not over by any stretch of the imagination. It's not over. You know, the bottom line, oh, Katie, let me get you back on. The bottom line is they did injure quite a few people in those missile attacks. And for some reason, the US is trying to cover all of that up and act like no one was injured, no one was killed. Well, no one was killed, but there was a lot of injuries. And those injuries were serious. But they're trying to play like, you know, the attack was nothing. And that's very disingenuous. Okay.
The thing about that is like I really think he did it really to protect his oil deal with Saudi Arabia. I mean, that's where it all started from. But as far as America, as a whole, jumping into other people's business, they have a long history of doing that. But I think right now everything is finally caught up to them because the whole world knows what America's up to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what, Katie? One thing I can honestly say, whenever America attacks another country, people will get behind the president and say, you know what, at the end of the day, we have to back our president. You notice how Trump is not getting that?
Oh, I noticed it all over. Even his boy Boris Johnson's not even joining in. That's the big clue right there.
Right. Yeah. Nobody is backing this president. In fact, they did a poll and they said the country is very divided on this attack that he did. And on the general, it's very divided. People are not getting behind Trump on this at all. Now, one of the lies, I should say, that Trump put out there was this general was trying to attack 4 different embassies overseas. Well, this didn't come out until a whole week after the general was taken out. So that's why I don't believe this was the reason. Okay. So now they're questioning, what was the threat? And, Trump is dancing around. He won't tell the truth. And at this point, people already know this general was absolutely no threat whatsoever to the United States, here or abroad. So this one came out in the Daily Beast on the 14th of January. U.S. embassies were never told of supposed Soleimani threat because it didn't exist, officials. So this is just going back to Trump being a big liar, which we already knew about him. He lied. He killed this man, all built on a lie. And he got to think people like his allies, well, I don't even believe they're allies anymore, over in Europe should get behind him.
Well, what I truly believe is that it has everything. He didn't want Soleimani to cut in on his Saudi Arabia oil deal. That's what it really is. And that's the main thing he will never say publicly.
Yeah, he's dancing around, giving all these reasons, and nothing is adding up, when it comes down to Trump. So inside team, Trump scrambled to sell Soleimani hit to America. Because again, it's a lie. And I think that's why we're seeing all these publications come out, because it's all a lie. So when he was backed into a corner on this whole thing, he's now trying to say, so what? It don't matter that he killed the general. He was a threat. No, you can't say, so what? It don't matter. Yes, it does. You have potentially started a war. So
there's this thing called the rules of engagement that all of the world leaders have to follow, including you, 45. And the fact that you wanted to break it all of a sudden because of some secret oil deal that you didn't want nobody else to profit off of, that's not a reason for an imminent threat.
Yeah. All right. So this is what he is now. He done changed his reasons from the beginning all this time, and nothing is adding up. That's why everybody knows this hit he put out is just BS. Now, I'm not saying that he didn't kill people, but I'm saying he was not a threat to the U.S. And the U.S. got a lot of nerve talking about killing people. This nation has killed millions of people on this planet. How are you going to talk about killing people?
And mostly for frivolous reasons too.
Yeah.
Mostly for but to add on what you just said, Lisa, if there was really an imminent threat, somebody in this corrupted media would have picked up on it way before he started his attack. Because the one thing I noticed that nobody came out with this report before he started that attack. Nobody.
Yeah. And you know what, KD? We never even heard this general's name in mainstream media over here, ever. I didn't hear this.
Not even once. Not even once.
How can he be that big of a threat and we never heard of him before? You know,
it all adds up to 45 lying. It all adds up to him lying because none of us never heard his name before. He was never no imminent threat in the other previous two administrations, but now all of a sudden his name coming up.
Right. I heard more about this man dead than I ever did when he was alive.
I gotta be honest, I did too.
You know, I mean, it's ridiculous, but you know, you reap what you sow, Trump. You take somebody out for bogus reasons, you better watch your back.
And right. Please, I'm not about to buy into this lie that this military is ready. This military is nowhere near ready.
No, it isn't. That is so true. Now, here's the thing that's been coming up all week. Now, you have Lev Parnas. He is a Ukrainian attorney. Okay, his name has been out in the news a lot. And Trump has denied knowing this man. He has denied it all this time. And then they have found scores of pictures with Trump with this man. Not only pictures, but at his golf course in Mar-a-Lago. There's pictures of him with this man. So he's definitely lying big time about knowing this man. And not to mention, you even got Kellyanne Conway, another one caught in a lie. I don't even know who this man is. And then pictures of her comes out with the same man. Same man. I mean, they are just making a complete fool out of themselves. Not only is Trump lying, but he got his own damn people out here, all in the media, lying on his behalf. But see, that's what he likes out of people that work for him. That's what he likes. I guess that's one of the requirements. You must be willing to lie for the president.
I mean, the thing that kills me is that they got pictures with him and this other guy. I mean, that tells you right there that he lied. Yeah. Obviously, he was trying to protect his another secret deal that he made with the Ukraine. He doesn't want the world to know about it.
Right. And he also screwed up when he withheld funds from the Ukraine. He was not supposed to do that. And that actually was one of the big reasons why he was impeached, of course, along with other reasons. But I don't know what's up with his administration denying that they know, they don't know this guy. And everywhere you look, he is, with this guy in multiple pictures. It's not one or two pictures. It's like scores of pictures he's with this guy. And y'all, I believe Kellyanne got a facelift. If you look at her, she don't look as wrinkly as she did before. I believe she got a facelift.
Yeah, quite honestly. But even with that said, I don't think that's holding up well. But go ahead.
No, that ain't gonna never hold up well, KD. They just don't have it when it comes down to aging.
No, they don't.
Woo, y'all. Now, this next one pissed me off. This next story pissed me off. And I'm going to go through this story in detail because it just came out not long ago. And this is a reason why voting for Biden or Sanders, you should not be voting for either one of these men. They are full of shit. They are doing the blame black people for things they have no control over. And, why swap out Trump, who we already know is a racist, for two races, like Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders, y'all? Why even swap them out? What would be the purpose? Make sure nobody else. Okay, nobody else is here. But I want y'all to hear this. Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders on the blame the black folks train during campaign trail. And this just came out 24 hours ago. Joe Biden and Senator Bernie Sanders may be running against another in a race for presidency, but it appears the two may have more in common than they think. They both have placed blame on black folks for things beyond their control. Biden recently did an interview with the New York Times and sidestepped away from the comments he made during the third presidential Democratic debate in 2019, where he basically blamed black parents for the racial achievement gap, which we know is, we didn't bring that on ourselves. The system is rigged up that way. But he was trying to blame black parents and try to say we need to learn how to be better parents, as if his ass need to have his mouth open. Remember, he got two junky kids walking around. Okay, and you can jump in anytime you want, KD. Meanwhile, Sanders pointed to former President Barack Obama's inability to get Mississippi residents. Now, you know how racist those folks are down there in Mississippi, to vote for him, as if obtaining white votes in an overtly racist state is an easy feat for a black man. Sanders, who received criticism during his time in Mississippi in 2018 after referring to Obama as charismatic individual and a bright guy, while citing the Democratic defeats during his presidency, suggesting that it was the former president's fault that he couldn't get racist white folks in Mississippi to vote for him. Barack Obama won 10% of the white vote in Mississippi, because we know how hardcore racist they are down there. That speaks very bad work done by Democrats there. 90% of white people in Mississippi. This is what Bernie Sanders is saying, y'all. Listen closely. 90% of white people in Mississippi are not racist. This is what Bernie Sanders said. Okay? He said 90% of white people in Mississippi are not racist. He came out of his face and said that lie in a video clip that has been making its rounds on social media. And while these percentages could have some basis in fact, it is unfair and frankly tone deaf to assert that a black man running for president can't shift the mentality of racist white folks. But this is what he said, y'all. And somebody posted it, Chris Evans. Let me see if I can get this.
You will see me back here. And I'll tell you for a couple of reasons. Not only because of the work that you've done to make this a battleground state, but I'll tell you something else. I am, as somebody who comes from a white working class family, I lived in a rent-controlled apartment in Brooklyn, New York, for the first 18 years of my life. I am tired of seeing white working class people continue to vote against their own best interests. Okay? We need, whether it is Mississippi, where if my memory is correct, Barack Obama got 10% of the white vote. And that speaks to very bad work done by Democrats there. 90% of whites in Mississippi are not racist. And we can raise that number from 10 to 25, 30%. You're going to win in Mississippi. We'll do better here in Georgia. We can do it. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take resources. Let's bring our people together. Okay, a couple more questions.
Now, my problem is everybody in that audience let him get away with saying that. Everybody sitting in that audience, and there's a black woman standing right beside him up there. Everybody let him get away with saying that. And we know damn well that ain't true. 90% of white people in Mississippi are not racist. Since when? Since when? Okay. That we know he's full of shit on that.
I'm just gonna point out something real simple. Who drafted the 94 crimes bill? Biden. Who voted on that 94 crimes bill along with Biden? Bernie. The
Right.
same clown that don't want to give us reparations because he received it.
Right.
So all this stuff that I'm hearing from him and Biden, I'm not really shocked.
Mm-hmm.
And then number two, Mississippi is last time I checked, Mississippi is a red state.
Mm-hmm. The state where Emmett Till was killed. Okay.
And he got his what do you call that? Tombstone removed?
Yeah. They kept vandalizing it, shooting it up with bullets.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Won't even leave the boy's grave alone. And even after they put a bulletproof headstone there, they still go in there trying to hold their little rituals on his grave. So, this is just ridiculous with these folks. So Biden, who appears to be on the same misplaced blame campaign trail, has revisited the comments he made about reparations for Black folks. He was asked about the responsibility he feels Americans have to repair the legacy of slavery during the September 2019 debate, to which he said the solution was tackling the word gap. Now, what the hell does that mean? Between Black and white children. What word gap? These are bullshit answers. He went on to suggest that parents should make sure make sure you have the record player on at night. We remember this. Make sure the kids hear words. Like our kids are walking around all day long and hearing grunts all day and not words. Come on. This is a dumb. Look, our people got to wake up. You should not be voting for any of these folks. You shouldn't even be inspired to vote for them. So make sure our kids hear words. Like what do you think we're doing? Barking at our kids? Meowing at our kids? I mean, we use words with our kids every day.
Hey, Nina Turner, where you at? Where you at, Nina Turner? You got a bunch of explaining to do. And I think that's the woman that that stood right next to Bernie that allowed him to say that nonsense.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that doesn't pass for racism? But yet Nina Turner is right there, not challenge a damn word that he said.
Mm-hmm.
Not challenge a damn word. And she excused everything that Bernie has done. So you know what that makes her? That makes her a political bedwitch and coon. Yes, I said it.
Yeah, exactly. A kid coming from a very poor school, a very poor background, will hear 4 million words fewer spoken by the time they get there. Biden's debate response was challenged during his conversation with the New York Times. He shifted his answer, placing responsibility on those who are still engaged in oppression. So in other words, your people, Joe Biden, okay, those are the only ones I know engaged in oppression, calling for them to stop what they are doing and pay for what they've done. If it's criminal. If it's not criminal, pay for it economically and change the law. So I guess he called himself trying to flip-flop on his bad answer. Oh, boy.
I just got to point something out. The fact that we gave them 400 plus years of chattel-free labor, and the fact that this been a corporation since 1871, just on that alone, they owe us money, Lisa.
Yeah, they do. They do. You know, they do, y'all. All right. Let me go on because I'm not done. Okay, Joe Biden's answer on how to address the legacy of slavery was appalling. Yes, it was, and disqualifying. It ended a sermon implying that Black parents don't know how to raise their own kids, which Biden in no position to say this thing to Black people at all. Not when you got two crackhead kids, Joe Biden, your son and your daughter. He recounted the backlash Obama received after telling Black men that their responsibility exists beyond conception during the 2008 speech in Chicago, and said his point is to help disadvantaged parents. No, getting up and taking a swipe at the Black community is not helping any damn body. My point was to make it clear that there are a number of things we can do to help parents who have been disadvantaged as a consequence of lack of opportunity to be able to provide more guidance and better guidance for themselves and their families, Biden says. But you know what, Joe Biden, a lot of these parents that aren't disadvantaged are turning out mass murders. They're turning out these phone bandits on the street. Who raised these people that are coming up on Black folks with these cell phones and threatening to call the cops? Who raised them? Who raised these unruly ass cops you got out here, Joe Biden? What kind of families did they come from? Who the hell raised them? Ooh, these people. Biden went on to propose that Black parents aren't active in their children's education because of the embarrassment that stems from their own lack of education. That is not true. In fact, there are so many Black people today than ever before that's holding all kinds of degrees. So that's a damn lie. The former vice president attributed his knowledge on the subject to his wife, who is a teacher. So what? That don't make her an expert. So she's an expert on Black parenting because she's a teacher. Does this even make sense to somebody? And teachers like his wife are pedophiles.
The fact
Ooh,
that they put Becky in the damn classroom to sabotage us are the same damn women who birthed these devils that cause all types of chaos and all types of rage out there and all types of negativity out there. So they're the ones to blame. The same ones that they put in the damn classroom are the same damn ones who birthed these devils.
People who don't show up on the nights when there's a parent-teacher meeting are not people who, in fact, don't care, but folks from poor backgrounds. That is not true. That is not true. Back when my son was in public school, that I saw a lot of Black parents up there on parent-teacher night. That is so not true. It's not even funny. Now, yeah, there were a few that weren't there because remember, there are a lot of parents that work at night. They have to work night shift. So you wouldn't see them there, but I can tell you one thing for sure. I saw those Black parents there. I saw them. They don't show up because they're embarrassed. That's a lie. They're embarrassed. The teacher's going to say, and it's hard to say, well, I can't read or I don't. He said, that is a damn lie. The average Black person today know how to read. This is not Jim Crow, where you still had a whole bunch of people that didn't have educations. The majority of Black people today do know how to read and write. So this bullshit statement from Joe Biden. No, again, nobody should be voting for him or Bernie Sanders. Our people got to be out of their minds getting behind people that think like this. You would think it was Jim Crow, the way him and Bernie Sanders sound. But see, what they're trying to do is take all the ills that have happened to the Black community and say, well, you know, that's your fault. No, it isn't. We've been sabotaged up in this system for centuries. Ain't none of this shit our fault. No, and I'm tired of hearing about this. You sabotaged the whole system up for centuries. And then you want to come and wag your finger in the faces of Black people talking about we're at fault we're to blame for our own demise and all this other stuff, and pull yourself up by the bootstraps in a rigged up system? Am I on glue, or does this make any sense? You know, no, we don't accept this. That's just like, I set you up to fail. Okay. I give you all of the wrong answers for SATs. And then you go in the room based on the answers that you got from me. You answer the question. You fail the test. And then I turn around and come to you and say, well, it's your own fault for failing that test. And I know damn well when I'm saying this to you, I sabotaged you. Does this make any sense? Hey, KD. You know, but so that's what they're trying to say. They know they sabotaged this system against us. They wrote all kinds of black codes and slave codes, and we're treated totally different by the cops than everybody else. But they're wagging their finger in our faces, talking about we're responsible for ourselves. We can't blame the system. Yes, we can. We can blame this system all day and all fucking night.
And these are the very people who still abide by those codes that they don't tell us about. And I'm going to tell a personal story. When I was in the first grade, when I was struggling with reading and struggling with writing, I was literally set up to fail in my first grade class by a old, dusty, rusty Becky. And her name was Mrs. Zatkoff. She was the very reason I failed the first grade.
Mm-hmm. But see, Katie, they've been giving us wrong answers for years. And it's to make sure we don't pass their children. Okay? That's really the whole goal. But the bottom line is you sabotaged us all up. And then you're coming around us wagging your finger talking about pull yourself up by the bootstraps. What the fuck? No, Black people, we got to shut this down. We can't let them come around us doing all that mess anymore. You know, this is where we draw the line in the sand. Okay? That's just like I said, that's like if you came to me and I said, you know what, I'm going to prep you for the SAT. And then in preparation, I'm fully aware that I'm giving you all wrong answers, right? I know that I'm giving you all wrong answers, but I give you those answers. So based on those answers, you go take the test. You failed the test. And then I come back and wag my finger all up in your face and say, it's your own fault that you failed this test. And I know damn well I gave you all wrong answers. That's what they have done to the Black community. That's what they have done to us.
They knew what the heck exactly what they were doing. They were sent in there to make sure that we are kept down so that we don't surpass them. But then turn around and say we're not a threat. If we're not a threat, why are you doing all these covert things to us, huh?
Yeah. You know, and pull yourself up by the bootstrap. They didn't even pull their damn selves up by the bootstraps. Everything they got off of our backs. And
even right now, they're living off the unfortunate fruits of our labor. Talking about to pull yourself up by the bootstraps, do your own work, but yet you living off somebody else's blood, sweat, and tears off of slavery.
Right.
Get out of here with that.
Mm-hmm. Now, we know even with mass incarceration, that whole thing was set up to make sure there was a steady stream of people from the Black community going to jail at all times. And then that you set all these laws in motion that you know is going to work against us and then turn around and say, y'all are criminals. No, we're not. No, we're not. No, you're not. No, see, what you did was put pen to paper and wrote up a whole bunch of bogus shit just to justify putting us behind bars. You know, something is wrong, y'all, when you got exonerations coming out in the news every damn day. Every day. I'm kidding you not. You wake up any given day and just type in exonerations and you'll see stories coming out from all over the country, different people every single day being exonerated, different people. And you know,
the thing about that is, sorry to cut you off, but the thing about that is like I just saw an exoneration over somebody after 20 years coming out of there and did nothing wrong.
Right. That's why we know it's rigged. And you notice they don't do nothing about all of these innocent people in jail. Again, that's all part of the rigging. So no, you don't get to rig a system and then come back preaching to black people about responsibility and pulling ourselves up. No, you don't get to do that.
And the funny thing is, Lisa, we're hearing this from the most irresponsible group of people in the world. Just look at the face of Esau in this country right now.
Yeah.
He's the most irresponsible president I've ever seen in my life.
True Royal, I sent you a link. I don't know if you saw, you saw your email. But yeah, that's what irritates me now. I'm at the point where we got to shut this down with these people getting up on the soapbox, preaching to us, and they know that they have done everything in this system to keep us from really moving forward, keeping us at the bottom, using laws and using all kinds of tactics to keep us at the bottom.
And they have to use all this just to make sure they sell the perception that they're superior. Yes. If you're so superior, you wouldn't need none of that garbage.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. That is so true. That is so true. So I just wanted to go over that article because, man, that pissed me off when I went through this one. It really pissed me off.
And on top of that, we taught them everything that they know.
Right. We sure did. We sure did. We nursed their children, raised their children, and did all of the work. Now, no matter how much they get angry, it is a fact. It is written into history. White people did not work during chattel slavery. They didn't. So them sitting around talking about they earned everything they got is absolutely ridiculous. You can't even say that today when you're jailing people and paying them virtually nothing or pennies on the dollar. You're paying them 20 cents a day. So you are still using slave labor, even to this very day. You're just doing it through the prison system. That's where the new slavery is.
Oh, but they can sit up there and say in public that racism and inequality's over. If it's so over, then why are you using these covert rules and covert laws that you don't speak about in public in order to stay on top of what? A dying, crumbling infrastructure. And when I say infrastructure, I'm talking about the race of people. And these damn Edomites know damn well that they're not superior to anything except death, destruction, and whatever else. I forgot the other one, but you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, they always have this thing about wanting something for nothing, and you can see they still perpetuate that. I just get tired of this stuff. I really do.
I'm gonna say this flat out. You're weak, Esau. You're weak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're right, August Dream. Every day there are stories of Black men being released after serving 50, 40, and 30 years. Yeah. And why does it take so long to realize somebody is innocent? If you got, okay, it takes you decades to realize somebody is innocent. That in itself is ridiculous. All right.
Want to sit up here and talk about this old black BS. The reason it's at a high rate because of poverty and all this. But what about you killing your own for insurance policy, huh?
Yeah,
Like that's not the norm either.
And mass shooting their own.
Mass shootings, mass opioids, whatever the hell the case it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You know, no, they don't have a leg to stand on. And all that black on black crime talk is just a bunch of BS too. There are more people dying from opioids, ladies and gentlemen, than from black on black crime. It's a fact. Opioids have surpassed all crimes. Okay, so there is no crime they can point to, and opioids is already sailing right past it. Yeah, it is a deflection, Nia. That's exactly right. It's a deflection.
And one of the main reasons they want to keep it up because it's a business at the end of the day. That's another thing that Esau will not tell you publicly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh man. All right. Let's see here. Now look like
If they really understood that when we're left alone with some of the most peaceful people in the world, it would destroy that narrative immediately. And that's the narrative that they don't want destroyed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, we got some more stories. Let me go ahead and share my screen again, y'all. Let's see here. All right, KD. Space Force. A new branch of the military Trump is creating called Space Force. Well, they just came out with the new uniforms for Space Force, ladies and gentlemen. So here we go.
Is this a joke, Lisa?
No. No.
We're talking about a depleted force that can't even stand up against Iran, but yet they're making Space Force uniforms, and even if they try to go up into space, they die.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Cameron. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yes, this is their new uniform. You see the patches and everything on there. You see the eagle flying over the earth. United States Space Command and U.S. Space Force. So this is real, y'all. They are getting ready to launch a whole new military branch in space.
These are the same. Wait a minute. These are the same people that can't even prepare for Iran. Are now trying to prepare for space.
Yeah.
But yet these are the people we're supposed to trust and lean on.
Mm-hmm. They're claiming that they are doing this to protect the earth, which we know that's bullshit, KD. We know what they're up there doing. They know the Most High is coming back. They think that they can possibly get up there and block them. And that we know that ain't going to happen.
If they can't defeat the Ishmaelites, they have really next to no chance. Really, they have no chance against our Elohim. None at all.
Right. And then I was reading another article that said they want to be able to block meteorites that are potential threats to the earth. No, this is their attempt in trying to stay in charge and think they're going to defeat anything that's coming to the earth. And they think that, because you hear them talking all that fantasy crap. Oh, we're going to be in power forever. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Oh, but wait a minute, Lisa. How the hell are they gonna do that being China's bitch? They still owe China trillions and trillions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
You got to talk to China to even get that money released.
Yeah. So people saw this online, and of course they started making fun and said the uniform was very, no big deal. We see this with the Army and other branches of the military wearing the camouflage. So this is what people said, this is much better designs. These are much better designs they came up with. Yeah.
What the hell is that?
People came up and told Trump his uniform sucks. And they said, these are better designs.
The hell is this crap?
This is what people were tweeting when they showed the uniform on Twitter.
And I even have to say, even with these bad examples, they're better than what the hell Trump put out there. Good Lord.
Oh man.
For a so-called military that claims to be strong, can't even whoop Ishmael's ass, are now trying to prepare to whoop. Lisa, I don't know. I don't know what else to say after that. I have no more words.
But I just don't understand how they can do all these great things in space. That's all I'm saying. So
great things when they can't even survive in space.
So yeah, this is real. They're about to do this thing, y'all. They are, everything is in the works for them to have this new branch of the military.
But yet you can't even take care of the one that's out there right now. Oh, Esau. Yeah. Oh, Esau. That's like the hits keep on coming. They never cease to amaze me.
That is so true. All right. True Royal, welcome.
How you doing?
Hi.
Lord.
Good. What's good with the True Royal?
Oh, Lord. That's all I can say.
Did you hear the article I did on?
Yeah, I was watching it.
What do you think?
Oh, Lord, Lisa. I'm just trying to recover right now. Let me get my faculty. Oh, Lord.
I hear you.
I feel like a truck that hit me today, Lord.
Oh no!
I shall recover. Yesterday was long. Oh Lord!
Yeah.
Folks, I'm having a granddaughter. I'm so happy. All right, I'm ready to mix it up.
Hey, she's following your footsteps, True Royal. Your first baby was a girl, and your daughter's first baby is a girl.
Yeah. Oh, that baby gonna be spoiled.
Now that's what grandbabies are for. That's what they're for.
Yeah. So we're gonna have space military, which we've been talking about for the longest. And I don't know who said it because I was reading so much. They can't even stay up there.
No, they can't.
I mean, what's really going on? Esau can't stay up there?
No, he sure can't.
It ain't nowhere Esau can stay. You can't stay on the planet. You're gonna burn up. Now where you can stay, let me take that back. I was wrong. You can stay your funky ass in them caves. Go now. I remember on Cynthia G's channel, she had made up a dummy cave brochure. Like when they go on vacation, they can go to the caves.
They actually do go there.
They do. They
go there. Yeah, they go there. They get to, you can get tours through there, but then again, who the hell wants to get a tour through a cave? That ain't that is not even enticing. I'm gonna climb up on a bunch of rocks and go inside a cave. That don't seem like a vacation to me.
I did a story. They got nightclubs in some of them damn caves.
Restaurants over in Italy, because I was over in Italy. Over in Italy, they have made some of those caves into restaurants.
Oh, so you seen them, Lisa?
Yeah.
Lord.
Some of them are like, they made nightclubs out of them. They got an indoor dance floor and an outdoor dance floor. Yeah, they got all that over there.
Lord. Go back. Go back to your spot.
Okay, so what do you think of Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders blaming Black people for things that are well beyond our control?
Lord. Oh, I'm going in. Fuck you. And your raggedy ass, dope fiend ass kids, first and foremost. Joe Biden, where's your dope fiend ass daughter? We don't even get to see her raggedy ass. And you always talking about how folks supposed to bring up folks, and you didn't raise two dope fiend ass kids. Like you said, Lisa, it's a curse on his ass.
Yeah, his first wife was killed in a car crash. Son, when was it? I think it was back when he was, running for office, and I think he was picked as vice president for Obama. His son died of a brain tumor. And now the two kids he got left are junkies. The man is cursed.
Oh, yeah, I got a second dig.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Big Mike. His son.
Hey, how y'all doing? How long y'all been on?
Week 3:00.
Okay, all right. My bad. Go ahead, you bro.
And his son can't keep his drawers up. He's screwing his sister-in-law. And we simply just don't see the daughter at all.
No.
Process that.
No, and then Bernie Sanders is also trying to blame Black people for the things that have happened to him. Let me go back to the article. I'll tell you what Bernie Sanders said. He said 90% of white people in Mississippi are not racist.
What? How you know that?
That's what he said.
What the fuck? Oh, bullshit. I'm from Mississippi. That's motherfucking line.
He claims. Okay, so Bernie Sanders. Let me play it for y'all, because y'all weren't on the panel when I played this. I'm gonna play it again.
You will see that.
This is Bernie Sanders.
Thank you. And I'll tell you for a couple of reasons, not only because of the work that you've done to make this a battleground state, but I'll tell you something else. I am, as somebody who comes from a white working class family, I lived in a rent-controlled apartment in Brooklyn, New York, for the first 18 years of my life. I am tired of seeing white working class people continue to vote against their own best interests. Okay? We need, whether it is Mississippi, where if my memory is correct, Barack Obama got 10% of the white vote. And that speaks to very bad work done by Democrats there. 90% of whites in Mississippi are not racist. And
did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said, Big Mike?
Yeah, I heard that shit. I'm trying not to throw up. Hell.
So he's saying that it is Obama's fault because he did not get the vote of racists down in Mississippi. He said 90% of white people in Mississippi are not racist. That's what he said.
That seat now working in on Bernie. He getting too old, y'all.
They tired of Bernie up there in DC. They real getting tired of him, and it's coming out in the open. Yeah, I didn't realize that until last week.
Now here's a Black woman standing right here.
I know, it's always one.
I see a bunch of white people. I can see a little bit, a bunch of white people here, but she didn't open her mouth. She just stood right there and said this bullshit. I'm gonna go ahead and finish.
You can raise that number from 10 to 25, 30%. You're gonna win in Mississippi. We'll do better here in Georgia. We can do it. It's gonna take a lot of work. It's gonna take resources. Let's bring our people together.
Yes.
Okay, a couple more questions.
Okay. So according to Bernie Sanders, if black people don't win in Mississippi, it is your fault because 90% of white people in Mississippi are not racist.
No, see, no. You know what? What he doing is, I expected this. I did. This is not shocking to me because they always want to point the finger, like who really got Trump in office. Go look at Becky.
You're right.
She's the one that likes to keep this shit going and everything. So they already pointing to us. And the reason why they're pointing to us like this, because he's really speaking in defeat, is that they know they ain't did shit. They know we ain't going along and getting along with shit. And you feeling some kind of way. So they directing white folks. Well, the reason why is because of them. Because the fear tactics that y'all continue to throw up in our face, oh, we got to get Trump up out of there. The shit ain't working. Y'all done did everything to us. So throwing fear at us don't mean anything to us. You got to understand what you did to us first. You got to understand how you prepared us. So we don't get all bent out of shape when you throw fear at us. And I'm sick of them throwing fear at us. It's not working.
And to all you pale-faced candidates out there, throw that benign neglect garbage in the trash, because that's where it belongs. We're not falling for it no more.
What were you gonna say, Big Mike?
I was saying independent black media is whooping ass right now because look what we did to what's that Harris lady? Look what we did to Cory Booker. So he's next.
Yeah. We're not playing. We're not playing, and they not getting it. And that's why I was showing that little segment. It was really hard of Diamond and Silk. They coming for us. The Republican Party is coming for us. They coming to pander to us. The very people that y'all deem nothing, that literally the scum of the earth. Why are you worried about us? Because we are the chosen ones.
Hey, y'all, Oxy Freak ain't here.
Man, Oxy, did you break both of your wrists? What happened? Don't get me started. Oh, I can be messy.
I know. So, so this is what they're trying to do. And then Joe Biden up there talking about black people don't know how to be parents and all that stuff. I was like, this man, he literally speaks the judgment down on himself.
Yeah, I mean, you ain't even trying to fake the funk, or anything like that. But it's like it's sort of like a sense of silence when one has to step out of the arena. They know why, because that lie that y'all threw up in our face and thought we was gonna bite and hold on to it, it ain't working. Black folks are way past done. And it's not what I hear, it's what I feel. It's a different type of feeling amongst our folks. We done.
Yeah.
So, oh, we got to get him. I even heard that damn booty judge or booty plug talking about, oh, we got to get him out of here and all that. That's that he throwing that at us.
Yeah.
Look how bad he is. It ain't no different in our world. That's what they're not getting. Has your life, this is a question that I asked the royal family. Has your life drastically changed since Trump got his dusty ass up in office? Has your life changed?
No.
And it's not going to.
No.
Okay. No, and it's not going to.
So what's the difference? What's the difference in our world since Trump is in office?
Yeah, Bernie feel that he feel that heat on him. So he know he ain't got the black that he wants.
Bernie next. You can see it. He
Yeah.
gotta go.
People ain't tolerating this crap from Bernie and Joe Biden. These are Jim Crow candidates, okay?
Yeah. What you call them? Relics?
Mhm.
Coffin ready.
Yeah. These folks are Jim Crow candidates. That's what they are. That's why they sound the way that they do.
And let's not forget that motherfucker had a heart attack. It ain't no, let me tell y'all something. It ain't, I want y'all to remember this. When you hear somebody have a slight heart attack, there is no slight heart attack. When you hear somebody had a mini stroke, there is no mini strokes. That's not real. I'm telling you something I really know. When you have one, and it's major. There's something going wrong with your body trying to tell you something. If you live through it.
Mm-hmm. That's something.
Mm-hmm.
He told me, yeah, you're right. Princess Micaiah, yeah, feel the burn. Who the hell wants to feel a burn? Burns don't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
So the hell with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And then we talked about Space Force.
That's funny. That's just so funny to me.
Mm-hmm. They're showing uniform.
So they are getting already up in space. Our father not up in space. Our father's right here.
He gonna slap that shit down.
No, he everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like he in one location. You're just, man, you feel the force of Yahweh. Yahweh is not in no one location. His essence is everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Sure is. Okay, so you know Trump got a legal defense for his upcoming impeachment trial.
Yeah, I've been monitoring it very close.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And you know the Dems, they want witnesses, and the Republicans are threatening them not to bring witnesses in.
Lord, you know they're trying to downplay. What was that guy's name again? Is it Levy?
Oh yeah, I got that. We went past that one. Lev Parnas.
Yes, they trying to. No, let me tell you what's funny. Everybody said they don't know this dude, but all we see is tons of pictures.
Yeah, Trump. You know he actually been on Trump's golf course a couple of times.
Nobody knows this dude,
Trump,
but everybody see a picture.
And Conway was another one, all on I don't know this guy, and then surface here comes pictures of her with him.
And see what they doing is they trying to make us look another direction. Like this dude is a criminal, this dude is a crook. Well, this is how the process go. When they turn that stuff over to Nancy Pelosi and them, because that's really who they turned it over to, and they went and sent their little minions to go fact check what he was saying, it came up truthful. It came up truthful. All right. Nancy and them not gonna let themselves look stupid like that. Then they gave him and his lawyer the thumbs up. Go ahead, go on your little tour. Go interview. Go. You can go get interviewed by anyone. You know, Fox didn't want to interview them, and he was telling the truth. He was telling the truth because they not gonna just be looking raggedy like that. Now, see, Trump and them, they don't care if they look raggedy. That's their arrogance, which ultimately will be his demise at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, we need Trump in office.
We sure do, because nobody's going to bring the place down faster than him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, this is just Alan Dershowitz, and he actually goes over the entire defense for Trump.
Oh, yeah, I heard his shit. I'm
going to go ahead and play this. This is from NBC.
All right.
See if we can.
Hey, Dad, can I ask you a question?
Sure, sweetheart.
Should I consolidate my debt onto a single credit card to pay it down faster?
Oh, come on. Shut up, bitch. Come on.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Today, we are learning brand new information about the president's legal defense and who will make the case at trial. One name you may recognize, Alan Dershowitz, will help make the case defending the president. The New York Times, the Washington Post, and NBC all reporting Alan Dershowitz will be joining Trump's legal team. Dershowitz posting today about his, quote, oral arguments that will be offered. Alan Dershowitz is a Harvard Law School professor emeritus and one of the most preeminent criminal defense attorneys in the nation, having tried over 200 cases. He joins me now via Skype at a busy time. Thank you for being here, sir.
Thank you. It's 250 appeals. I'm not actually a trial lawyer. I've only tried a small number of cases. I'm an appellate and constitutional lawyer.
250 appeals cases and effective
Right.
when you're in the courtroom. Let's get into what you're doing. President Trump publicly admitted that he wanted Ukraine to investigate the Bidens. Will you and this team argue that the president can legally condition that kind of request on foreign aid?
Let me be very clear what my role is. I will not be involved in the factual aspects of the case, in tactical issues about whether to call witnesses. My sole responsibility is to analyze and present the constitutional arguments against impeachment based on the two articles of impeachment. I will present the history of the constitutional impeachment provisions, the history of the impeachments that have gone on, the three in our history, and make a broad argument. I'm not a full-fledged member of his legal team in the sense that I have a limited role. I will appear one day in the Senate. I'm not part of the kind of tactical or strategic
What
team.
argument will you make that the Constitution supports what the president, as I mentioned, has publicly admitted, or in addition, what he's been accused of?
It's not a question of what the Constitution supports. It's what the Constitution requires or prohibits. The Constitution sets out 4 criteria for impeachment: treason, that's not been charged; bribery, that's not been charged; or other high crimes and misdemeanors. And the high crimes and misdemeanors are obstruction of Congress, which is completely made up. The president invoked his executive authority, separation of powers, checks and balances. That's an extremely dangerous article of impeachment. And the other one, abuse of power. Virtually half of American presidents, from Adams to Jefferson to Lincoln to Roosevelt, have been accused of abuse of power. And the framers explicitly rejected those kinds of broad, open-ended criteria. They were fearful that it would empower Congress to turn the presidency into the prime ministership of England, where the prime minister can have his tenure ended by a simple vote of no confidence. That's not what the framers wanted. They wanted specific criteria for impeachment, and none of those criteria, in my view, have been met. And I will lay out that argument.
Well, how do you make that argument, though, without dealing with some of these facts, right? I mean, certainly one could imagine an abuse of power that would meet the standard. I'm sure you and I would agree on that in theory. And so the abuse
we don't agree on that.
We don't agree on that. Well, let me play for you, sir. Let me play for you and then get your response. Let me play for you the president admitting the investigation, then I'll get your response on whether that's an abuse.
Okay.
Here's Donald Trump on the White House lawn.
Mr. President, what exactly did you hope Zelensky would do about the Bidens after your phone call? Exactly. Well, I would think that if they were honest about it, they'd start a major investigation into the Bidens.
The abuse of power allegation is that request conditioned on money that was federally mandated under the law for a different purpose is the abuse.
Well, but abuse of power, even if proved, is not an impeachable offense. That's exactly what the framers rejected. They didn't want to give Congress the authority to remove a president because he abused his power. They have to prove treason, they have to prove bribery, or they have to prove other crimes and misdemeanors. Other refers to crimes of the kind such as treason and bribery.
Interesting. So let me make sure I understand for viewers, because you're making news here about what you will argue on the president's behalf in the Senate trial. The news you're making, as I understand it, is that, quote, abuse of power, in your argument, does not constitute as a high crime under the Constitution?
That's exactly right. And that's exactly what framers said when they rejected. Remember, the initial criteria for removing a president was maladministration, malpractice, and a range of other kind of vague, open-ended criteria. And what Hamilton said is the greatest danger would be to empower Congress to impeach based on how many votes you have on one side or the other. That's why after they finished debating whether there should be an impeachment, they went to the criteria. And Madison, who was very much in favor of impeachment, wanted very limited criteria. And if they wanted to put abuse of power, then they could have. Let me give you another example. Madison talked a lot about what if a president becomes incapacitated, but they didn't put incapacitation as a ground for impeachment. We had to amend the Constitution to do that. If you want to amend the Constitution to have abuse of power as a criteria, you can do that. Nobody will vote for it, though.
Well, and
because presidents have accused of abuse of power from the beginning of time.
Very interesting getting your expertise.
So that right there, all presidents are no good and abuse their power.
Yeah. And let's not forget Ken Starr is on that too.
Yes, he is.
Who Trump said that was a freaking idiot
Mhm.
and everything. And because I've been following this really, really close. And what Trump is doing is he's trying to get big name attorneys because he want to look good, you know, because it's always a form of entertainment with Trump too as well. And that's the reason why, because you know Trump is real big on status and everything. And ultimately at the end of the day, it's all about who could tell the best lie.
Right. And thank you, Cinnamon Star. Thank you for the super chat. Go ahead, True Royal.
But like I said, ultimately at the end of the day, is who can tell the best lie. We're going to continue. We're going to see a kangaroo court.
Oh, hell.
And stuff. And what they've been talking about now is the new evidence, and they want to be very dismissive of it. And it is damaging. I have to admit it too, because they was fucking over that ambassador, which was really bad, you know, following her, monitoring her. But it just, you know, like it made me think of what Farrakhan had said. That's the thug in Trump. That's what we're seeing, that thug side where him and Giuliani go get some little raggedy dudes to go, you know, intimidate this chick and everything. It's just going to be really interesting just to see, because now this is important. I know some people not interested probably at all in watching the impeachment process and everything. Well, I'm a war strategist to some extent. And it's important that people that is into that, some of us really need to watch these things because we're still in a war. We are not out of this war yet. And this gives us an opportune time to watch the enemy on the world stage, how they perform. Because remember, other countries are watching how Esau gets down on the world stage. This gives them an insight into some of their secrets because they want to show out. Think about that. You know, they showing out. And we have to take note of how they getting down and everything, because ultimately in the end, this is about us reclaiming and regaining our throne, because that's the way this is going. So we have a lot to do with this. Oh, Oxy woman, you need to go take care of your man. All right. Or, you know, you didn't flip the script, Oxy man, and you a tranny. You know, I can flip it with you. I'm quick on my feet.
Ooh,
Lord, you know, I can say some stuff, but I'm gonna have to censor myself. Anyway, let me finish that. So keep that in mind, my royal family. We are still in a war. We are getting an opportunity to get deeper into the thinking of Esau. Remember, countries that despise this country is watching this. And see, we living in this with Esau. And we done got used to living with they grimy ass. Detach yourself. That's why it's important not to celebrate their holidays and exchange our energy with them, that you my fucking enemy and you hurt my people. And I ain't letting it go. I ain't letting it go at all. I'm dead serious about this shit. Fuck all of y'all. And I'm watching you real fucking close. And like Farrakhan say, I know who backed me. I don't have to run around trying to prove who we are. You know who we are. We vibrate.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit back and watch my popcorn and watch them demolish each other. That's the only good thing about this whole kangaroo court.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? It don't matter. Even if they dismiss this whole thing, Trump is forever tarnished with being impeached. I mean, this is going to be written in history about him being impeached in the first place. There is no way around it.
The thing is also is in this impeachment process, pay attention who's there. Pay attention who's there. Look, you know, look what's in front of you, but also pay attention what's behind you, because this is historical. And the enemy likes to be a part of things that are historical. So best and believe, even as we speak, behind the scenes, you know, their biggest argument is who's able to speak first, because they want to go down in the history books. And it lets us know who's really running this government, because in this, we're going to see some of them people a part of that shadow government that I talk about a lot, because that's how they getting down. So they exposing themselves too in this war.
Yes.
Just keep that in mind.
No, that's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but see, Trump's downfall, this is a stain on America. This is not just a stain on Trump. We know it's a stain on him, but this makes America look bad. You elected this man.
Mm-hmm.
So every time he gets dragged out on public, you know, or on Twitter, every time he gets mocked by world leaders, this is your black eye.
Mm-hmm.
You know, America's never going to be looked upon as the same. You know, never.
America, what we're looking at is America will be a shell of herself. And how I look at America is a dried up hoe. You know, her back is wore out. Nobody don't want you no more. You can't give the goods like you used to do back in the day when you was shining and grinding and everything. And she's nothing more than a shell of herself, because her skirt has been lifted and it's filthy what comes out of that.
All I'm gonna say is on this behalf, bye-bye Esau, because when it's all said and done, they're gonna go away and we're gonna replace them.
Yeah.
You know?
Man, if somebody would have told me this alleged New Year would start out the way that it did, I would never have believed you. I cannot believe everything that has happened in a short period of time. And we're not even through January, y'all.
That's the crazy part. You know, we talk about that quite frequently too behind the scenes, because I had said that on my channel. I said, damn, their new year, not ours. Their new year don't seem like a new year to me, because it's a lot of empathic folks here, and we feel things. It didn't feel like a new, where you get rid of the old, and and you celebrating the new. They was truly celebrating their death and their demise. You know, and it seems like in we're in the 19th day, a lifetime
Yes.
of stuff. And I know I seen a lot of y'all over there. I wanted to say something real quick. I want y'all to keep this in mind. I seen a lot of y'all over there when Big Judah was talking about how the planets were lining up a few days ago. And the last time they had this particular alignment, it happened like 500 years ago. Pay attention. Pay attention, my royal family. It happened on the 12th. And y'all know I pay attention to numbers. Our Father is signaling us. That's what I've been noticing, that he puts certain things out. He'll even put certain titles out, because folks don't realize they being controlled, and certain things even come out of these people's mouths. And I'd be like, oh my goodness, that our Father is signaling us, you know? And I couldn't dismiss that. I couldn't dismiss that at all, that he's letting us know. It's like what we're looking at as it goes along. It's like the changing of the guards or changing of the power as that table slowly turn. And that's why it's so important that all of us are doing our part to tap each other on our shoulder.
And don't forget about the lunar eclipse we had this month too.
That's right. Yeah. Because it's a lot of activity going on. And then the other thing that I'm paying attention to, because when I did those videos about royal smoke and royal fire, and then I was saying all of these people are complicit in doing things to us, or sitting idly by and just watching it go down.
Mhm.
And they're just as complicit, and they know y'all will not overpower us. We are not going to be subjugated ever again. And y'all know y'all can't overpower us, because we're not going along with this. We will regain our throne. We just have to keep the faith. And so what the enemy will throw at us is we'll get discouraged sometime. No. That's where we need to continue to lean on each other, because I get feelings too sometimes too and stuff. That's why it's important. Your words are important. Your words are very powerful. You know, they can't stand us running our mouths. They can't stand what come out of my mouth.
Why do you think we get trolled? They can't handle what we're saying. That's really what all the trolling is about.
Look at that, Lisa. The 2020 you were talking about. See
Yeah.
how our folks is now we see 400 on the end of that. See, we can't think of all of these damn things. That's why you are that important. That's deep to me. I didn't even trip off of something like that. That's why I sit up and read these comments, because I'd be like, damn. I say, do our folks realize how powerful they are? Even how y'all name some of y'all channels and stuff like that. I look at how original we are. The enemy come here and all they can say is nigga. Can you come up with something else new? My mama heard nigga. My great grandparents heard nigga. Come up with something new, damn it. Y'all relics. We done heard all that. That shit don't bother us. So you just repeat. Remember, like on Phil's show, some dude wait on the phone. Just wait his turn.
I'm sick and tired of that too.
And they get on Phil's show, and all they say is nigga. That's the best you could come up with.
And I think he sat there and waited damn near 50 minutes just to. Yeah, he waited just to say that. Yeah, I remember that.
But you know, how did you break that down with the 2020, Lisa? How you was telling me that?
No, I was just talking about 2020. What is 2020? It's perfect vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the year everything's a lot of stuff is going to come to light. This is the year of the revealing. 2020 vision. 2020 vision, y'all.
That's deep.
Why you think they have a book in the Word called Revelations?
Yeah, and you know, and then we have. I wanted to clear up some stuff too while we on here. I have people, and I know Lisa have her fair share, and other channels do too. I'm tired of folks coming to my channel saying Esau is black. I'm tired of folks coming to my channel telling me don't pay attention to numbers. Our father didn't, and there is no outer space, and all of that kind of stuff like that. Those
Please explain the book of Numbers in the Bible if our father didn't deal with numbers. What do you think that was about?
Lord.
About counting those Hebrew people that were out in the wilderness.
Yes.
Numbers. So yes, he did deal in numbers. That's not true. That's false.
Yeah. I just get tired. Sometimes I don't react to everything, but sometimes you just get tired of hearing your folks. I'm talking about your folks. I'm not it don't bother me with the enemy, but how lost some of our folks is and how
man, I can't stand when they say stuff like that either.
I mean,
now, let me tell you.
I mean, part of the reason they say that because they think, oh, the way we look at numbers is the same way the enemy look at numbers. No, the enemy tried to pull this numerology crap and all that. We're not looking at numbers like that at all.
No, and not only that, when you go and look at when the Most High instructed people to build certain things in the Bible, he gave them exact measurements. what size to build
Yes.
the curtains, what size to build the temple, what size to, to do everything. That's dealing in numbers. So how the hell do you say he didn't deal with numbers?
You know what? I have something I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna send you something, Lisa. But I wanted to say something even deeper about what you're talking about with the numbers situation. When the enemy who don't believe, again, who don't believe, when they are on their archaeological digs and stuff, and it's related to things biblical, they go to the Bible to get the measurements. When they when they were doing the measurements for the ark, it was exact.
Right. Cubits. That's right. Cubits.
Yeah, numbers.
He gave all the measurements to Noah on how to build the ark. Noah didn't do that randomly. He got all of the measurements from the Most High. That is math. That is dealing in numbers.
So the question that I ask is that I ask myself, these certain things that are taboo in our community, and the enemy came in, and first thing they came, like I often say, they came to take our science and all of those type of things like that. The question then I ask, okay, what's going on? Why they don't want us to look at that? Okay, they come in and bastardize our stuff. Okay, for years, I don't even remember when this stuff started. They'll talk about this thing about voodoo. Voodoo is some crap some white folks made up. That has nothing to do with us.
Now, let me just dive in here a little bit more. How are we supposed to figure out who the 144 are if no math is involved? Okay, the 144,000, that has to be counted out. So that's dealing in numbers, right? And even when Noah put all of the animals on the ark, didn't he have to make sure it was a specific amount of each animal? That is dealing in numbers. So y'all get off of this bullshit about, I'm not talking about y'all in general. I'm just talking about the people that are out here perpetuating this lie. The Bible, the entire Bible is mathematical.
Oh, let me put on another example in Zechariah 13:8-9. The fact that it used fractions when it mentions the 2/3 to 1/3, that is numbers, even in fractions.
Yes.
Yeah. And they want us to look away from numbers, like numbers are something that is wicked and taboo. Lisa, check your email, because I wanted you to show what the number 20 mean biblically in the number 12 on there that I just send you, because it's deep. It's really deep. And it's amazing, because one of my girlfriends told me, she said, when you want to know certain things, continue to go to the word. It will give you the answers that you need. That these numbers that we are talking about.
How did he? Okay, so if we didn't deal with numbers, then how does it talk about the people being out in the wilderness for 40 years?
Yeah, I mean, numbers is just a part of our life. I mean, we deal with time, numbers when we're born, how much we weigh, all these things. Numbers is a very, very crucial. We can't even get through the day without knowing having numbers involved, because we have to do things.
Let alone traveling. Traveling involves numbers too, because we got to get to a point A and point B. What does it talk about? X amount of miles.
Yeah, so they want you to dismiss that. Now, even when it comes to the astrological stuff, you have to ask, well, why do anytime the enemy then put that in our culture so long for us to step away from it? I look into it. And then I look at the part where they bastardize it, because you can go online, like I'm always mentioning number 17 and the number 11. And then you can go on there and they talking about angel number 17. And then when you look at the bottom, they want you to whip out your debit card, and they're going to explain to you with angel number 17, you can go to the word and the word only. See,
Right.
they
And not only that, even in our Hebrew calendar, we go by 364 years, right? And those days are counted out. So how do we not deal with numbers?
Mm-hmm. Now, I just seen someone that put up the number 40, and would it generally symbolize, in the word only, a period of testing? And we know what happened being out in that wilderness. We were it's testing and probation. That's what it says in the word.
I know what you're talking about, Jonah and Nineveh. Yeah. So Jonah was at one point in time trying to hide from the Most High. He didn't want to do what he should have been doing. But at the end of the day, he did carry out what the Most High wanted.
And then it takes it a step further as I'm reading this to y'all. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It says he also sent spies for 40 days to investigate, and they make a point of changing the color of these words. The land Yahweh promised the Israelites as an inheritance. And that, believe it or not, is in Numbers 13:25, Numbers 14:34.
Right.
Wow.
Right. So that's why I'm saying it is math and numbers spoken about all throughout the entire. That's right. 12 tribes.
Yeah. So the 12
of Judah, 79, 12 tribes.
The 12, what does it symbolize? This is deep. The meaning of 12, which is considered a perfect number, again, a perfect number, that it symbolized Yahweh's power and authority, as well as serving as a perfect governmental foundation. It also symbolized completeness of the nation of Israel as a whole.
And let me go back to the 144,000 number. What is 144,000 times divided by 12?
Katie, you're going to have to repeat that. You broke up.
I'm going to say it again. 44,000 divided by 12. 12,000.
KD, you're still breaking up.
Hey, KD, go click yourself off and come back in, refresh yourself. Now, I'm looking at the number 20, and it just tells you.
That's right. The fasting, 40 days and 40 nights. What Yehoshua or Yahushai out in the wilderness. That's right.
Now, they said that 20, it keeps it very plain and simple. 20 means, in the word, mean a complete or perfect waiting period. That's simple. It ain't all elaborate, but it's a lot of power in what I just read. So we have to ask ourselves, why they don't want us to pay attention to numbers and different things like that. That's like the Big Judah. You know, he's been in the book of
that's right, King Zeke, the 13. They keep trying to apply the number 13 to us. Yes, very true.
So, like, there are certain books that they have taken out that they don't want us to study. Go study with like my father told me. He said, when you read the newspaper back in the day, he said, go get the most racist newspaper. You studying the enemy. They studying us. We need to study them. Now, 13 in the word means rebellion and lawlessness. It's just real heavy. And then let's get the other one again. Flat earthers. We need to, y'all need to be respectful. That's y'all thing. But this is my thing. The earth is not flat. And my question is the people who believe in that flat earth stuff and believe in HARP and all of that, then once say, just for the sake of an argument, that the earth really is flat. Okay, then what do you do next? That's all I want to ask. What do you do next? Because you want to prove that you got groups of folks for years that argue this, and it's no progress in your conversation. It's a useless conversation. It really is. Where is the progress in that? And then on top of that, then you want to talk about heart. What you're saying is that the enemy is God himself. They can't control this weather with they fancy equipment. Even now, they'll be saying, I remember 2 weeks ago, they said it was going to rain all week, pour here in the Bay Area. It only rained for like off and on for 3 days. So they can't even rely on their stuff.
I can easily debunk that by reciting Isaiah 45:7, when Yahweh clearly says he controls the light and the darkness, and also to incite that he controls all things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I want to go back to 12. We look at 12 on the clock, and we the one to put that together. Because again, 12 symbolizes a perfect number. So when we come together, how my interpretation of that with that number 12, when all 12 of us, the tribes are together, that's perfection, and then that's our strength. Because remember, I keep saying the enemy then did enough to us that we have became a group of separatists, and then on top of that, this magic number 18, you're supposed to kick your children out the house and all. Fuck all of that. We keeping our family with us close.
And remember the Jubilee years. Remember? So if we're not dealing in math, how are you going to count out the Jubilee years when each one of those come?
Mm-hmm.
And in addition to what True Royal said, it said in Ezekiel 37:19 that the two sticks, which is the northern and southern kingdom, will eventually come right back together and become one.
Mm-hmm. That
is also dealing with math. Mm-hmm. Now, I wanted to hit the last point that regarding to the 12, the 144,000 you divide it by 12 is going to be 12,000 a tribe when it comes to government setup.
Wow, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I when you say we don't deal in numbers, I cannot listen to you.
How would we even remember, like we were talking, Lisa, one day?
How would we know we're at the 400-year mark if we weren't counting?
Yes.
And that was not spoken about in the Bible of us serving and, doing servitude for 400 years.
Mm-hmm.
You would have to throw virtually everything out.
It also makes me think about, me and you were talking about, we need to do a video or have a discussion possibly about, say that we wasn't even here because, we didn't invent it, damn near everything. How would the world be today without the things that we have invented? Shit. Check this out. We would still be in the dark. We would still be in the dark.
We would be looking at dirt roads everywhere. This place would look third world.
Yeah, like this.
I would just say it like this. You put the two planets against each other. Which one were the ones that made the inventions or the ones that lived?
Shit, they would be still bumbling in the dark. They would still be in the damn caves, KD. And they would have probably by now they would probably have mountain number 20. A mountain of shit. That blew me back when Lisa said that when our folks went up there, they had a mountain. They thought it was another mountain. And then when they get up there, it's a mountain of shit. I was like, damn, these people. And you know what? I was tripping off of. I was watching a documentary last night about our presence in Britain, and they did a aerial shot of showing the aqueducts over. It was in like remote areas of Europe, and those aqueduct systems that we built, they are still actively being used. So what they did is they connected their modern day plumbing to those aqueducts. They were made in such precision, which they had to use numbers, and you have to do surveying. Y'all know, y'all see them in construction, like when those surveyors are looking in, look like a telescope and stuff. What they are looking at, literally, they can look at the pin of a head, and to try to make the streets as straight as possible. That to this day, the elevation, which you got to use numbers, so water can flow. Believe it or not, even sewage, you have to have the right elevation so shit and piss can flow. Those aqueducts, and I don't know when they were built, that they are connecting it in now, and we didn't unquote even have that unquote fancy equipment. Like when Lisa was talking about, think about how powerful we continue to be, that the Dogons could look out into space. They didn't need no telescope, and they could see all these planets and beyond.
And ladies and gentlemen, also remember the clock. What most important thing we look at every day are clocks.
Mm-hmm.
Benjamin Banneker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, everybody around the entire globe is always looking at clocks every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they still focusing on us. And this is the part that I really love out of all of this, along with the clock, showing you how powerful it is, how the enemy has to take heave along through the world of the color green, the color red, and the color yellow when they drive in their car. And they operate off of that. They are not going to go in an intersection without looking at them colors and what those colors tell you to do.
And I want y'all to look at the African flags, and you'll see those very colors in their flag. And these mofos with high IQs can't even figure out the color of the lights is a dead giveaway. It was by a black man. Okay,
that's the most powerful thing to me, that they are still yielding to us based on those colors. They know red, you're gonna stop on red, you're gonna go green on go, and you're gonna yield to yellow. Powerful.
Yeah. And those are our colors. Okay, those are our colors.
Do you think, okay, as much as the enemy despise us, I'm gonna go deeper into their thinking. As much as they despise us, I personally would come up with some different colors. I despise these people that much. I'm not yielding to their colors. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. Cinnamon Star 808, we done came up with every damn thing up in this society. Everything.
They yielding to us, and they don't even realize it and stuff. And I remember I was did a video about 2 years ago, and I was basically just talking about hey, Oxy dad, oh, you got a father too, huh? And I was talking about this taking a knee, and I was talking about the very day that there's going to be a period where they're going to take that knee globally. They're going to bow down to us. What are them people doing over there in Australia?
Crying.
And taking and on their knees. They on their knees. Begging.
Crying.
Praying. You know?
Crying.
Like I keep saying, you gonna submit.
How can a high IQ group of people allow a country to burn down like that?
I know. Ain't that something?
Y'all got high IQs and the damn place is burning down to the ground.
I mean, the military can't even handle it.
The military, and firefighters from America, and the place still burns.
Yeah. I seen a video yesterday. This white guy over in Australia, it was pissing raining a few days ago over there. Oh, he was so excited. He was crying. He was running through the rain. It was actually, I seen it on the Weather Channel. Oh, he was having a ball, but I was reading what was below and stuff. And they, even though it was pissing raining, they already know, don't get too excited. They know they've been burning since October. And the thing is, it has rained a few times and it has not even put that fire out. Not at all. And then when the other part that you were talking about, and they are in their summer phase.
Yeah, they are. There's still summertime there.
So you can't even put out. It's something as simple as a fire.
Fire out, and their temperatures have been well over 100 degrees on top of the damn fire.
Mm-hmm. And they already talking about
the sky is turning red. Mm-hmm. So damn hot.
Yeah, you can't dismiss it. You know, these things, or what is that? That was when I seen those videos last week, that volcano going off over in what country is that again? That's in what country is that the volcanoes are going off? Because Puerto Rico is dealing with earthquakes, and I got something to say about that. And the other country, it'll come to me, that's having the active volcano. Yeah, the Philippines. Thank you. That's going off. Did y'all see that spectacular show? Did y'all see all that purple in them clouds, all that thundering and lightning? I mean, the sky was lightening up purple. I was like, look at that.
And remember, Mexico also had one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They got one. Now, I ain't gonna mention the name, but one of my subs had texted me and told me that those aftershocks that they think that they're feeling over in Puerto Rico, because they've been having, and this is way beyond the norm even to me, because like when you have an earthquake, usually you'll feel them aftershocks for the max maybe 3 days, and then it start calming down and stuff. They continue to feel aftershocks, and one of my subs said that the U.S. Marines are putting huge bombs in the ocean to continue to make it shake, to disturb the people. Mm-hmm. What I thought about when I got
they're not even offering to help those folks at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not going to help them. And what I thought about is when all that stuff popped up, went down in Katrina, when they blew up them levees. They don't want to be bothered with Puerto Rico no more. And FEMA said they're not helping them.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't even trying to hide the fact that they're not gonna help them. They really mean that shit.
So it looks like whatever the hurricane didn't wipe out, the earthquake is sure doing it.
Okay, Christopher Clipper was saying now, because before I got online, I did see on CNN that there was a shooting. So 2 dead police officers in Honolulu.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I have to go out there and see how many mass shootings for this year.
Yeah, I ain't even went over there to the site to even look. I'm gonna go check real quick while we still here talking real quick to see how many mass shootings and went down so far.
KD, were you gonna say anything?
No, I was just enjoying this back and forth. But back to what Puerto Rico, this Puerto Rico thing. This just goes to show you how Esau operates. If you don't look like them, you're not in the damn club. All this time, Puerto Rico tried to befriend them, tried to act like them, and be, all buddy with them. But now when they see the true nature of Esau turning their back on them, this finally should tell them that they're not a part of the club.
Mm-hmm. You're only there to boost up the numbers. That's it.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Let's see here.
No other reason. If they can boost up the numbers by adding everything under the sun, then that gives them an opportunity to get the most resources. That's all. But they don't want them people.
Okay, I can tell y'all right now how many mass shootings we have had so far. Let me count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 mass shootings already. And today is the 19th.
Yes.
And I'm going to go back and see how many, what was the grand total?
It was
going all the way
400. We were in the 400s.
Let's see here. Mass shootings for 2019. The grand total of mass shootings was 418 mass shootings in 2019, and we know how many days it is in a year. So they superseded that already. last year. Damn. What a shame. What did they have in 2000?
Yeah, I saw Phil's video on them incels. They're now considered domestic terrorists. Yeah, them old lonely ass guys that can't get a woman and want to kill everybody over it.
Yeah. They something else. They make me think of Richard Spencer's ass. Boy, they mad at Trump. Boy, they pissed off with Trump.
Turn on Trump so fast. It didn't take long. He didn't even get through one term and he already turned on Trump.
So in 2018, they had 337 mass shootings. And you see how it jumped up? Went to 418. Wow, yeah. That's a big jump. Wow.
When I did my last video of 2019, it was at 414 at that time.
Yeah. Wow. That's hella deep. It's a lot. I'm telling you.
Well, look, we ain't even in this year good. So we know the mass shootings are coming for this year. Wait till the weather start getting warm. They gonna be going buck wild out here.
And you know, they that drama that's going on down in Virginia. They arrested. Did you see them dudes that they arrest, Lisa?
Yes, I did.
When I seen them dudes they arrest, I'm just gotta be frank with y'all. They ain't getting no booty nowhere at all. I guess they gotta find something to do. Them dudes look pitiful. I mean, a prostitute would she could be broke. She'd be like, I'm real cool. Them dudes look pitiful. They weak. And I remember back in the early 90s, people were dismissing what I was saying. I said one of America's biggest problems are going to be these white militia groups. They are a problem, and even though they may not talk about it a lot, they having to deal with it. And that's what I wanted to say. I'm glad, because me and Mike were talking about it last night. Lisa, when you and Mike were talking about how the enemy would be the very people that take us to the land of Goshen and all of that, and y'all had mentioned it recently too. What I was looking at on a spiritual level, the stuff that's going down in Virginia, that because when they were putting out, they were going to target the Capitol there in Virginia, talking about possibly shooting and stuff. And these white people, they're going to protect that, they're going to protect that. And in turn, they protecting us, and they don't even realize it. Because, Esau do things on purpose. We know that they really down there to intimidate Black folks on MLK Day. And so now they are heavily armed around there. So the MLK Day can go about his day. It's not nothing about this. Partly about their gun rights. That's all about intimidation, because the enemy and I'm going to say specifically, those ones that supported Trump, them Richard Spencer's type, they piss with Trump. They feel like something is being taken from him and he ain't doing enough. He ain't raw enough for them. So they're weakening as we speak, and they're speaking of.
Well, first of all, they're stupid. Trump was just using them just to get in office. I don't think he ever had any intentions of going above and beyond them.
I think so too. He did, because what he did is he stirred up something in an enemy. You had a bunch of these trailer park folks. I seen a documentary about it, where this was the first time they admitted that they was part of the political process. And when Trump was having those rallies, I call them KKK rallies. And when you get a room full of them, and that first one to say yeehaw, when that alcohol kick in, the cave beasts come out. They was in there beating each other's asses. That's not unusual in their culture to beat on each other at an event. That's not unusual. So he stirred something in them, and they felt included in this process, and Trump did not deliver as far as they can see. That's why I was saying this shit about Trump.
Like I said, Queen, I don't think he had any intentions on delivering. I really don't. He got what he wanted out of them. And that was getting into office.
Yeah. And see, we know politicians, that's all they do is lie. You got to realize that group, they don't understand that. They don't know how government work. And they don't understand that they own is lying. These people are so delusional. Let me tell you how delusional these people is. They interviewed some of them, and I never forget this one white guy. He was all puffed up. Yeah, it's about time. It's about time. He was just elated at the fact that Trump gets on Twitter and say any and everything. And they just want to have the right where they can say any and everything. And that's all they need is Trump to say any and everything. And you're not worried about jobs. You're not worried about better health care or anything. Like you were saying, Lisa, racism is so important to them. When they executing their isms, they don't care if they lose their job. This shit is important to them. So you see how shallow thinking the enemy is, that them fools that voted for him, all they want him to do is have the freedom to say nigga at the end of the day with no consequences.
Queen, if you remember when he first got in office, remember all the public rants? Get out of my country. Get out of my country, and all that mess they were out there doing.
Yes. They
just thought they were going to be riding that coattail all the way through on Trump. Trump only used you for the votes. He got what he wanted by getting elected. But as far as him carrying out every detail for you, fuck no, he ain't thinking about you. He ain't even talking about y'all.
No, they are non-factor. So you see the extremism
about his impeachment. He ain't concerned about none of y'all.
Now you see the extremism. They either extremely like him or extremely hate him. It's no middle ground how people feel about him. So those very ones that was expecting something, when they start waking up that they've been fucked dry, they going to extremely hate his ass.
Mm-hmm.
And he ain't gonna be able to deal with it because he played too much. Like I said, these lies that
Trump to get around to them. He's being Trump thinks about his self.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, whatever's going on with him, that's what comes first to him.
Yeah.
He doesn't care what out there.
The same way Obama did us, 45 is doing to them the same damn thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He don't care. I mean, the people that's the closest to him, he been knowing for years.
Christopher Clipper, where's Steve Bannon now? Okay,
people. Yeah, those people that are close to him, that was working on his campaign, and they done got locked up and stuff. They were talking about that the other day on MSNBC. They said this dude have no loyalty to his friends, the ones that get locked up.
Right. And people are still going to jail behind his ass.
Mm-hmm.
They're still going to jail.
Now, since you took the words out of my mouth. We ain't even seen Roger Stone's in the news. Trump ain't even mentioned
and
Roger Stone.
Was saying he was friends with Trump for 30 years, and look at how Trump is doing them.
Yeah,
30 years.
He turned his back on him, and I remember I was pointing out, I was showing pictures every time Roger Stone would go to court. He was surrounded by black people. Mm-hmm. He even had some clergyman with him.
Even the man driving him back and forth to court was a black man.
I was like, who is these mystery black folks with him? You know, it was a sister with him. Mm-hmm. One of the security was a brother, because he waved at folks and everything. And the first day when he walked into court, it was just him and his wife. And it was a different energy in Roger Stone's walk. And I said, he's defeated already. Then he pulled that tactic in the court, playing like he's sick and got the bubble guts, and then he hires somebody to have a seizure, and that clears the courtroom, and then after the paramedics come, the very person that claimed they had a seizure, they get up and walk and leave the courthouse. I was like, damn, it's tough. Damn, you can't handle it. You can't handle it. And Lisa, we got to talk about homeboy.
That's right. Driving Mr. Roger.
And Lisa, I gotta give a dig on what's that, Weinstein, and running around pushing his walker, looking old and frail. Oh, that shit is hilarious.
Oh man.
That shit is hilarious. He done went all the way pitiful.
His ass is crippled now. Thank you, Daff. Thank you for the super chat.
That shit is funny. His ass walker, he trying to look real feeble and stuff.
Yeah.
He already been busted in a Target store.
Amazing. He didn't need that walker to rape anybody, did he?
So
but as soon as the thought of jail comes up, he needs a walker.
I see that on your channel. I was cracking up. I said, no, he didn't pull his shit. No, he didn't. In the media, I haven't heard the media say anything about what that stunt he pulling. But then they want to say Bill Cosby is not blind.
Yeah, they tried to say he was faking his blindness. They sure did.
Sure, yeah. Yeah. Boy, they some cowards, Lisa. That's why they crashed that. That's why they crashed that website.
Selective service. Yeah.
Screaming.
Talk all that shit. At the end of the day, a coward.
That's one of the reasons Richard Spencer is upset. He petrified
that Iran war. Oh, he's going to cause a war because Richard Spencer is thinking if there is a war, his ass will have to go.
Yep. They are pissed with Trump. I remember when David Duke said, Trump, we got you in office after that Charlottesville incident, and Trump get up there and say, I don't know him. Really, Trump? You don't know nobody.
Oh, Loretta got a boyfriend.
What?
Loretta got a boyfriend. I was downstairs in the kitchen and I heard this loud meowing outside. I was like, what the hell? And I said, that's not Loretta's meow. I look outside, a male cat is walking around my house looking in my windows trying to look for Loretta.
Oh, Loretta, somebody sniffing around for Loretta.
Yeah, and it's a boy because I saw his little wee-wee. Boy. So coming around my house, meowing all around the house trying to get her to the window. So Loretta got a man.
Loretta in love.
He wasn't really thinking about him, but he must have came about 3 times, meowing real loud.
Oh, Lord, Loretta, girl.
Yeah.
Loretta needs love.
I said, Loretta, you got somebody interested in you.
Loretta got a man. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm loving that.
He got the little tiger stripes on him. So
she probably putting on her best sexy. Look at that emoji. She said, hi this side. Look, honey. I love it. Loretta got a man.
She don't do nothing but sleep in the damn window. I guess he turned on looking at her sleeping in the window. That's all her ass do.
That's true. Loretta got a man. Oh yeah, Loretta got a man, but Oxy Man can't get a woman.
And the incels can't. None of them incels can't get women either.
Oh my goodness. Oh boy. Did she purr back at him, or was it vice versa? Him making
it was him looking for her, but. Every time he came around, he missed her being in the window. Thank you, Mike. He missed her being in the window.
Okay.
So, she was in the window and then she jumped out of the window and then he came meowing around for her. It was so funny when I heard that. I was like, what the hell? Looking for my cat.
Oh my goodness, he ain't gonna get rid of him, Lisa. He gonna be around your house. He gonna be trying to figure out how to get up in that joker.
That's Oxy Man.
You know what? I got male cats, and I've often said that my cats is gay, and my cat Shaka is always humping on my cat Mink. And so I learned something. Even though my cats are fixed, they still get a twinge down there.
Yeah,
we have caught my cat mounting the other cat frequently. But the other cat don't do it. This Shaka does it. But Shaka, That's a whole
You know what, Queen? It might be in that food he's getting from the neighbors.
Yeah,
I think it has something to do with the diet.
The gender bending food. Yeah, because my cat Shaka go to this white woman's house every damn day to eat.
Shaka's a coon.
He's a coon. He a straight coon. He don't give a damn. He disloyal. He's disloyal. He go over there and eat at the white people's house. Well, my husband said that last night. I said, he a coon. Lord have mercy. Oh. And he will go if that woman, if something is going on, he'll go to that woman's house and look in her window and bam, she got one of those iron gates, screen gates. He will bam on it. I've seen him do it. And he's so smart. He'll wait for her husband to go to work. He'll get up on the fence. He'll watch that man get in the car. Then when he drive down the street, the cat, I watched him. He got off the fence, got in the middle of the street to make sure he wasn't there, and went to that woman's porch. That's when I found out a few years ago. And I told my husband, I said, you know, this cat, she let him in her house too. I said, do you know Shaka going over there eating? Because I asked her. I said, I observed my cat coming around, being around your house frequently. And when I knocked on her door, he was already in there. And she smiled. She said, well, he been working me for a while. So she knows she being worked. You know? So the new thing now, because her husband is onto it, they operating in the backyard now. You know, he working her ass. So he's like, you know, since he didn't call on, just put the shit in the back and we can resume doing what we doing. That's how the coons get down. You can't trust them at all. Loretta got a man. Oh, that's funny. Oh, cat control pills. That's funny. Oh my goodness.
No, she's sick. She can't get pregnant.
She'll beat his tail. Be like, what you think you doing? What you think you doing with that? Oh, that's funny. Oh my goodness. Wow. What's that, Loretta Tomcat? Gonna show Esau how to get their birth.
No, those cats will have more babies than Esau. Some of them cats be having 6-8 babies. They be having a whole litter, big litter. And look, I was reading, there was a Rottweiler, and the Rottweiler had 21 pups.
Wow.
21 pups.
Wow.
Oh, Esau can't keep up with the animals now. That's far out of their reach.
Oh, look at that emoji. A cat in a peel. Oh, that is hilarious. I like that. Now put the cat on the peel. You got to get them cats.
I told my son, and even my son laughed. He was like, what? A male cat? I said, yeah. And then he heard him. He said, I hear the meow. And I said, yeah, he's coming around trying to get Loretta's attention. He wants her in the window. Thank you, Rome. 71 Rome. Yeah, he trying to get her attention so she'll get back in the window.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
What you do? Get in the window and go to sleep on his behind?
Yeah, that's all she do. Because she likes the feel of the sun.
Oh, yes.
So she'll just lay there, go to sleep, and then she wakes up and come out of the window. That's all she really does.
What did Hood Mistress say? I know a cat around my block who did the same thing. Her name is Velvet. One thing I can say is that Velvet was a hoe.
Well, they be hoeing it out here in the summer. They be out there screaming. We know they're having sex.
Yeah.
You hear them screaming all through the night.
I had when I first moved here, there was a nightingale. That's a bird. And it was mating season for the nightingale. Lisa, he would not shut up. And I opened the window and I hollered. I said, will one of these damn birds give him ass some? Because he would just be singing all night, just swooning and swooning and swoon. He wouldn't shut up. I said, wow. But you know what got me was when you told me that raccoons don't hibernate.
No, they don't. And
Them
neither do
suckers-
skunks. Neither them old bad smelling skunks. They don't
Oh.
hibernate either.
Lord, a skunk can stink up your whole neighborhood.
They sure can.
They sure can, yeah, and stuff. Because I hear at night on the side of my house, the raccoons, they body slam each other, and you hear them growling and snorkeling back there. And then during mating season, they fight. They fight.
Yeah. But you're right. Cats are aggressive when it comes to sex. I remember the first time I saw a lion have sex with a female lion. He'd be biting her in the back of the head and everything. Oh, yeah, that should look painful.
Yes. You know, I was watching a nature program and they were showing the black widow spider, and it was mating season for him, and the male was coming near her, and he'll mate with her, and he'll try to anesthetize her because he knows she gonna kill him. No, she don't kill him. No, she don't kill him. She capture him, and lo and behold, they showed enough footage that they showed. I seen one get away. He walked real light around her, but if she catch his ass, she gonna ball him up and keep him that way. And then what she'll do to him when them babies is born and she need to feed him, she'll poke his ass where he'll bleed continuously to provide food. I guess that's child support. I guess, you know, from the black widow male, and the black widow male don't look nothing like.
No, he's much smaller than her too.
And he's skinny, and he know it's like he can't help himself. He got a mate, but he know he might get, you know, caught up in the process and stuff. That's funny to me. Oh my goodness. Loretta got a man. All
right, y'all. We gonna conclude this because we've been on here now over 2 hours. I didn't want to run too much over 2 hours. And we'll definitely do this again. Tomorrow is King's holiday. I might do something on that day. You know, a lot of people are off from work. It might be a good time to do.
It'd be good to do a hangout about that and talk about some of the misconceptions.
Yeah, and all the lying about how much they admired King. They hated his ass.
Yeah, and go over that history, and also I like to talk about how, you know, in his last years of living, how he was
because he went to the Nation of Islam.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. You know, and Elijah Muhammad was enlightening him and stuff, and so he was making a shift. You know, he was making a shift at that end.
He was even getting protection from the men from the Nation of Islam towards the end.
Yeah, it was too many infiltrators, and they
and he realized he had to fight to some degree. All that nonviolent stuff, that was not working.
No, yeah, trying to make the enemy look, you know, or make them, hopefully they would feel guilty about what they're doing. No, they don't feel guilty. Go back to that pineal gland, that calcified pineal gland. It has a lot to do with it too.
All right, y'all. Thank you for coming. You know, I do appreciate the super chats, and I appreciate you being here. So, you know, we'll see what we can do. Maybe we can come back together, like the Queen said, and we can even do it over on your channel.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I can set that up.
And we can do one on Dr. King. I mean, it is, you know, the birthday that they celebrate, and it's only right that we put the right information out, not the fairy tale that we have been fed.
Yeah, they want to focus on I Have a Dream over and over.
No.
All
right, everybody. Shalom.
All right.
All right.